What is going on, guys? It's the Mad Dragon. It's a Wednesday, which of course means it's our weekly update video for Rugby 25. Latest update out, which I'm not going to lie, coming into this one, I was weirdly hopeful. I don't know why. I sort of had some thoughts over the weekend. Like, I feel like this week could be a big one. Could be a real good update. Did the little update on my game to realise it is 40 megabytes, the update. If you know anything about the size of this game, 40 megabytes isn't particularly massive, but hopefully, you know, good things come in small packages. We'll see how we get on. I'm feeling a little bit under the weather today, but we will plow on nonetheless. As always, timestamps down in the description and in the timeline of the video. You can jump to wherever you guys want. Hit the like button, share with your friends, all that good YouTube stuff. And let's jump straight into this one with the patch notes coming over from JNT over on the FAQ page this week. Balanced player speed, adjusted relative player speed from feedback. Yeah, a lot of people, including myself, instantly saw forwards are too slow, bizarrely slow, look like they're walking, don't know what's going on, so hopefully that's going to be adjusting them. The backs actually felt kind of good. I've been playing a few games with some of the lower rated teams, and actually some of the lower rated teams having your back sort of try and outrun the higher rated backs actually kind of felt okay. The forwards though across the board were just way too slow. Improved ruck join prevented situations from players waiting for teammates to arrive before joining ruck. Adjusted waiting of players joining by position. Yeah, a lot of people were getting annoyed that the backs couldn't join the ruck. As with these updates, it's always quite extreme. You know, people were complaining that basically the backs are flooding the rucks, and it seems a little bit weird to not be able to have those players outside. The adjustment that came from Big Ant was we now lock these positions to the forwards exclusively, so then none of the backs can get in, and then you've got players literally standing around the ruck not able to join. So hopefully that'll be adjusted a little bit today. Resolved automatic try score. Corrected rare issue where the AI control teammate scored a try on the player control team. I don't even know what that means. Corrected a rare issue where the AI-controlled teammate scored a try on the player. How? How does that even occur? What, is it someone you're not playing as would receive the ball and score a try? I don't even know what that means, but I'm glad they fixed that. There's still issues around picking the ball up in the 5-meter channel and off the back of a maul in the 5-meter channel that seems to just award like an automatic try. You don't even have to press a try button. The players just dive across the line and score, and they can't be stopped. So I think there's still issues around an automatic try scoring. Improve cutscenes. Corrected issues where players would be incorrectly positioned before cutscenes. Added ability to skip pre-lineout cutscene. Hallelujah! Get so bored of seeing the guy with his flag. Move over. Oh man, I've had enough of that. So glad we have the ability to get there. And added additional cutscenes for substitutions. Hey, good. That actually sounds quite positive. We'll do some subs today. And then, of course, improved stability. Always the improved stability. We love improved stability. I'm thinking today we'll jump in on some more issues. Like I said, I've been playing a little bit with some lower rated teams. And it's been kind of fun to like test out, like, you know, like Namibia. Because the pressure seems very different. But this... even though it's slightly more fun playing as a lower rated team, it does expose more issues, which is probably worth sort of covering in one of these videos. But I know we normally play as like, you know, sort of top 10 rated teams in the world. I think it might be fun to play as like a Namibia going up against, who do we reckon would be fun? Like an Argentina maybe? Should we do like let's do us in white going up against Argentina in blue. There we go. Let's do that as a fun little game. We'll play on hardest, and we'll get a look on how this is going. And there's actually a chance with this massive level of, you know, discrepancy in team rating that the AI might score some tries. You know, maybe we'll lose a game. That would be fun. There are other issues that come when you play as a lower rated team in this game, like just other weird exploits that like teams have. I've noticed where like Namibian players will like fall off of tackles repeatedly. It must be something to do with how they're measured in like their stats versus the player they're trying to tackle. It's almost always the first tackle they like fall off, and you could end a game with like 50-60 missed tackles. It does feel a little bit ridiculous. But you know what, we'll jump in and get a bit of a feel for it. So, we've got some new cutscenes we're going to test. We're going to have to kick the ball out a little bit today, get some line outs here. We can skip the line out cutscenes. We'll do some substitutions. I can't test this rare automatic try thing because I've never even seen that. But then the player's speed. Let's also have a look at the player speed. Now, because something that I think rugby games have always struggled with nailing down is that lower rated teams have lower rated players across the board, and therefore all their stats get dropped down. Whereas, I'm actually playing on end-on camera. I didn't necessarily mean to do that. Let me have a swap back to my normal camera here. But yeah, there's a bit of an issue where just because you're a lower rated teams, all your players are so much like lower rated and all their stats are really low, which isn't always the case. There's plenty of teams that have, that are sort of, lower rated in world rankings. However, they have very fast wingers and stuff, and you kind of want them to still have their own, sort of ability to run at speed, even if they're on a lower rated team and not sort of be penalised for that. So like seeing Namibia now. Oh wait, we took that one back, did we? Let's see if we can make a bit of a break here. Right, we're making a break here. Number 5. Maybe felt a bit faster, not crazy fast. Not gonna lie. I don't really feel like his pace had massively improved. Let's go for a box kick over. Good catch by the fullback. Whoa! In come the side steps. Now I was playing a little bit on the Xbox over the weekend, and did notice an awful lot of sidestepping coming in from the AI, and I'm going to see if that has carried over into this one. If on every single carry they'll always, like just sort of breaking through those tackles. It'll be interesting to see what the tackle stats are going to be like at halftime as playing now on this new update. Oh, well, that is a delightful kick. Didn't just kick it straight out, even though they were under pressure. Actually, that was quite a nice tactical kick. Maybe you would be... oh, actually, can we skip? We could skip the lineouts. I love that. I'm very pleased about that. That's probably the thing I've been happiest about in like the last 5 updates. Now, I still think there's, certain issues with like the kicking. Maybe someone's going to kick that. But, you look at the angle of, where his leg is swinging to, compared to where the ball then trajectories are. It's quite a 90-degree angle, right? It's not particularly realistic. I would like to see that, a shift of a bit, that maybe your kicking arc has to be a little bit more aligned with which way you're facing. But that was a nicer tactical kick by the AL. Let's see if we can make a bit of a lot of passes just not going to hand at all, and we got pushed all the way back. Okay. They've actually awarded a scrum, though. That was something that didn't work previously. That would have been a dropout from me putting the ball back over my own try line. So maybe they fixed that. But scrum still got the flankers on the wrong side. So both sixes are on this side. Can we steal a scrum? Probably not. Not likely. Got a big push here against Argentina. Can we defend? Oh, they went for the pass. Right. Some stuff to break down there, maybe. I'm glad they took the pass from the scrum half. Normally the scrum half was just picking up from the back of the scrum. Really glad that they did that. Diving 5 meters out from the try line in a way that is then completely unstoppable to be able to actually stop them sliding over for a try does look a little bit weird. I'm not saying someone couldn't slide 5 meters to get over the try line, but you should maybe be allowed to interact with the tackle button a bit. That's quite a distance that they were able to dive over that try. In fact, they took that pass. I couldn't even swap to a player to get anywhere near them for the tackle, but the AI got over for a try. Hooray. I mean, that is what I've been testing out by doing lower rated teams versus the higher rated teams. At least the AI can get across and do something. So let's get in here. It's a good tackle. See if we can supply one in. 4v2 in the ruck there. Not able to take that one sidestep. The spin from a tight head prop. Great work by him. This is another thing that it's hard to balance when it comes to like rugby games. But having a lower rated team being able to compete at rucks, just because you're a lower rated team, you kind of feel like you shouldn't really be punished at like all these rucks. We're 15 minutes in. Oh. Like a wonderful sidestep. That's a good little run. Right, he's now isolated. You feel like I should probably be able to take that one. 5 versus 2, and they're still able to get there just because of. And they did the sidestep again. There's the problem with it. It's nice. It's nice that the AI can do some stuff. They can get tries when you have this huge like team discrepancy. This is what I mean. This to me shows. It puts a spotlight on other issues. That guy is on the ground, isolated. Big Ant have made the change to have 5-player rucks. I put 5 players in then versus 2. I understand Argentina are rated higher, but why can I not turn that over? Where's the logic in my 5 players can't push over, 2 Argentinians? I get they're higher rated, but the stats in different rugby games like this sometimes just make you go, I don't know, what can I do? They took sort of 4 phases there. I couldn't get a single turnover. I couldn't really make any any ground with it, and he just sort of makes you go, you know, and that's a bit of an issue because, I don't know, as someone who enjoys playing as lower-rated teams in rugby games and wants to play online with them, you know, I'd like to do some online games as, well, if you see me, I played a game with Cyprus, I've done some other, you know, games. I like to do that. But you don't want it to feel like there's such this massive hindrance because you're the lower-rated team that you can't win areas like rucks and lineouts and scrums just because you're the lower-rated team, as opposed to you're actually playing well. So let's go for another lineout here. Let's see if we can do it. I've also noticed a thing, which I don't know if they've ever confirmed anywhere, but players not being able to pass. So I'm a lower-rated team, and off the back of that lineout, you might have seen that when I went for the target passing, I only had the A and B option as my target passing from the set piece, whereas other teams I have X and Y as well. And I don't know whether the rating of the scrum half actually impacts how many players you can pass to from a set piece. I don't know if that's something they've ever mentioned anywhere. And I went left again, and he just threw it wildly right. I went over for it. Oh, that one was a turnover. A lot of very floaty passes. There's a lot of floaty passes in this one so far. Very sort of lifted it in the air. Again, that was, you know, past that one guy at the end. Then you feel like I probably could have, you know, given that to the guy who stood right there. But no, we threw it 30 feet along the ground. That's a nice choice of pass. And now you might be able to see, as the players begin to get a little bit more fatigued, you'll be able to see with, like, Namibia. Just have a watch of how many times my first tackler falls off the tackles. It's not a sidestep, it's not a handoff. They just, like, don't commit the tackle. And it does seem to get, like, more numerous as games go on. I just realized, yeah, we're 14-0 down. I need to step it up here. There's a good chance you can still lose a game on hardest if you actually, you know, if you have a decent discrepancy in teams. I feel like I really don't have anyone in any sort of position for me here at the minute. Still quite a big ball. I'm still not a big fan of the 5-man rucks. Oh! Stability. Oh, no, hang on. We're back. Well, if the game can just pause and and then give the ball back to them, there's not really all I can do about that. Stability. Stability improvements. Little barge through there. Let's see if we can get the ball. We want to try and get over for a try. We're determined for something for Namibia there. Again, that's a weird one for me. You know, why did I not make that tackle? To me, I feel like I'm definitely within that radius to make that tackle, but for some reason, just don't make that tackle. Let's see if we can get on the end of that one. Is he isolated there? Got some guys in quickly. Doesn't help that the ref is playing in the same colour kit as us as well. So I keep thinking the ref is actually one of my guys. Oh, well, we managed to get a turnover. A lot more floaty passes I'm noticing in this one. Just got to run that one in. Nothing I can do there. Players still standing around the ruck, and then, you know, this is the sort of things that just sort of bother. Because if you're from a region where you want to buy this game, let's say you're from Namibia and you want to pick up this game, you want to play as your regional team, right? You know, I understand Argentina are a higher rated team. But, you know, they've said they fixed the ruck thing. You know, who we got? We got a number 12 stood there. We've got number 9 stood there. Eventually, my boys get in. And then, as soon as they join in, my guys get in. You know, at that point there, we've got a 5 versus 3. We've secured the ball. I'm trying to press pass. Doesn't matter. Number 8 gets in. And they just kind of blow you out the water. You want people to play as the lower rated team. They've gone through all these efforts to get all these licensed teams and photogrammetry, you know. It's very tough to be like, oh, you just can't win. Why? Well, because you're Namibia. Therefore, rucks don't work for you how they will do for Argentina. And that's a really hard thing to balance. It's not specifically for Rugby 25. A lot of rugby games really struggle to find that level of balance. There's a knock-on in there. Don't know what that a knock-on is for then. Half-time. 14-0, but you can see from the missed tackles again, just look at the missed tackle stat here. 17 for me, 1 for Argentina. That was my one handoff that I had. But 17 for me. And half of them aren't even a sidestep or a handoff. It's just my guys make the tackle but fall off the tackle, which is a nice animation. But just having that stat switch up of lower rated teams versus higher rated teams, it's like, oh, you literally can't make a tackle even though you as the player did everything correct. See if we can punish that one. 3 guys in there, 4 guys in there. hit that line. The referee is in exactly in my defensive line where I'd like want my guy to be. Oh, he's taking a very wide line through there. Come on, boys. Get in. Get in. We'll test the substitutions and stuff as well in a bit. It's that sort of thing as well, that like it's so hard to notice in like when you watch it in a video like this, but when you play the game you can just get a feel for it, and you know something feels like you make this pass now. You look at how we're numbered up here. You know, it's really nicely like numbered up from my perspective here. You've got their number 10 marked by the referee's in the way again, but you know, my guy is there. You've got 2 players here marked by 1, 2. They've got number 11. I've got my guy there absolutely marking him. It's absolutely fine. They pass the ball wide. My guy's run 5 meters inside. And the winger just breaks the line. Stuff like that is so annoying to still be seeing in this game, because it's not something that's your fault as the player. It's just your own teammates just run away from the opposition. And the other team seems to know your guys are going to run away from it. You know, maybe that's just a thing to do with the hardest difficulty. But they always seem to know exactly where you're going to not be, and they target that space before the space even exists. Oh, they kicked it into their own guy. That should be an offside. Can we put some pressure on this? Yeah, let me try and put a bit of pressure on there. That's good. Hold on. Come on, Namibia. We got this. Hang on. Let's go through some phases. Let's not commit men to the breakdown. They've got to try and play out. Well, they managed to actually get that kick away. That was a very good kick. Right, let's try and skip through this. I love that you can skip that though. That's a big positive from this update. At least we can now skip those cutscenes again. I only got the choice of A and B from that line out pass, so I can't pass wider. Is that because my scrum half's rated, you know, lower? I don't know. Oh, that's a good little break though by number 13 on the outside. Not going to be able to get away from who is the fullback for Argentina, Malia. Oh, this looks very, very close. Not a great line by my number 8 to run all the way inside. So bunched. Again, I've secured the ball. I really dislike how late into the ruck so you can still get turned over. Like, I really feel like I've secured that. You know, 5 versus 5. You know, I feel like I've won that. It's done. I'm already selecting my target pass for the next one, and they can still just turn it over. Again, I have no control over that as well. You can use the hold onto the ball mechanic, which I don't like. I think it's a rubbish just idea generally to have put in, that you can just purposely tell the ball to hold on, and then it gave penalties away for doing it. Oh, let's have a look at some subs as well, because we want to have a look at... Oh, no, not that one. Substitutes as well. A few people beginning to drop down on us. So, fly half. We got another fly half on the bench. No, why would we? Why would we have a fly half? I've just realised I've got an 83 hooker on the bench. Let's put our 83 hooker on as well. They'll kick it out again. All right, let's see this new cutscene then. A knock on? What? Who's knock on? What happened? Oh, this is the new cutscene, okay. Okay. It is a cutscene. I would kind of like to see them, like, swap out for the people that they're coming on for. You know, like a little high five or something as they're, you know, exchanging out with the people, as opposed to just casually sort of seeing one guy run on his own when I've loaded up 5 subs. But at least there's an animation for it now. Oh, it was the scrum half will run through and clear the ball effortlessly. I can't even get on the end of that tackle. I guess you're really far away there. Let's move close. This time we'll go for the. Oh, that time we had a few more selections at the line. I have now swapped my scrum half, and now suddenly I have more options. I wonder if that's actually something to do then with the player. It's so floaty. All the passes are so floaty. Get in here, boys. We lost that one again. Again, it just feels, you know, and it's that's a really hard thing that's going to be balanced. I don't think that's necessarily just a Rugby 25 thing. I have, you know, we will have experienced that in other rugby games where the lower rated teams just have an absolute nightmare trying to keep a hold of the ball. But, you know, you want to be seeing, you know, in the sort of modern era of rugby gaming again, is that they just seem to know where the space is going to open up, and they do the little snaky runs. You know, it would be nice to be able to see, just because players are on a lower rated team, that they're not basically punished for you being on the lower rated team. You know, and I know if you maybe you want to exclusively play as New Zealand and you want to ham in Namibia, you know, you're like, oh man, I don't want Namibia to, you know, be able to just keep holding onto the ball. But I think it should be a little bit more that it comes down to player skill, as opposed to just Namibia rated lower, therefore they're going to lose all the rucks. And it's been something I've been seeing over the last few updates, that it does feel like if you're just the lower rated team, you're just kind of doomed. And like lineouts especially are terrible. You can steal lineouts by just being the higher rated. You can get the lineouts completely wrong. We've lost that ruck as well. You know, like you can say throw to the back. They can choose the front jumper. But because you're the lower rated team, they just take that line out off you. Like, they haven't even got the call correct, let alone, you know, being able to see it. They've got that as far wrong as humanly possible. Oh, big floaty pass. They seem to recover all their own floaty passes as well very easily. I can't say I've noticed a great deal of difference in the player speed. Again, I'm playing as let me just have a quick swap, you know, because I want to get a bit of a feel for it as well. Let me just swap over quickly to Argentina and get a bit of a feeling for how Argentina run with some of their forwards. So this is, you know, number 13. You know, number 14 can get on the outside. I think the back's pace was relatively good. I feel like they took that one off me with great ease. Whereas, like, let me just get this to a forward and see what we get. Let's go to, like, Pablo Matera here. What? What even happened? Who was offside? I'm through! I've got to try! I'm just about to score, ref! You can't just take that away from me. Pablo Matera had a great little run there. Let's go for a little tap and go. I didn't actually... Oh, good. I'm glad they put me back over there. I don't want to score. I want to score with a forward to get a sort of feeling for the pace. Let me see if I can get on the outside channel. Open side flank. Maybe they're a bit quicker. Maybe they are a bit quicker. It's still not blistering, you know, pace. It's not. You don't want it to go back to what it was, where, you know, they were making 100-meter breaks with forwards and stuff. It still feels like I can just run diagonally there with Pablo Matera, with Kramer, sorry, and quite easily sort of got around them again. Just your stats higher than them because you're on the higher rated team. I don't know. It's just something that bothers me. It's not something that's, you know, brought up in these patch notes, but it is something I've noticed. Oh, it's that kick as well. It is something that I've noticed in this game as it's sort of been developing for the last few updates, that lower rated teams are really struggle to just hold on to the game. Oh, I thought the game was over. I thought that was 80 minutes. I've also been having a look at the AFL. AFL 26 is out. I've been having a look at because there's a lot of kicking in AFL. They've got an option where you kick out the posts. And they have a different kicking mechanic to Rugby 25, where you have to do, like, quick time events. And it feels very rugby game. And I'm very surprised that wasn't brought in. I mean, what are we looking at here? Alright. Can I do anything with this ball? Use it! Try and do, ref. But the game is giving up on me. Okay, well, there's the thing. Okay, let's have a go back there and sort of go over some thoughts and feedback on this one. Balanced player speed, adjusted relative player speed from feedback. The forwards do feel a bit quicker. A little bit tricky because I was playing as Namibia for the majority of that game then, so Namibian player stats are already lower, so therefore the speed's already going to feel lower anyway. Swapping over to Argentina, you know, I made a nice little break there with Kramer, sort of just ran diagonally and scored over for a try. You can feel that there's been an adjustment to it. I still feel like players feel like they do run quite slow at the minute in this game. You know, which is just such a sort of jar switch from how this game has been through all of its development, but also, you know, you come from like Rugby 22 where it's a really high tempo, fast game, and you really have to you know, you've got neurons firing like crazy trying to keep track of it. It does feel like you can make a break now with a winger and you sort of trundle along and you sort of, you know, might eventually get there and sort of covers. It's sort of getting there. It still feels tweaks happening. It does feel to me like it's like we don't know what to do. We're just trying things and chop and change and see what goes on. It doesn't feel that different, but you can see that like Argentina's forwards at least felt a little bit faster. My Namibian forwards didn't feel like they were making a great deal of pace through some of those lines. Improve ruck join. Prevented situations of players waiting for teammates to arrive before joining the ruck. I think that still happens. I think I've still got a few of those games. They've now allowed backs to be added into the rucks. But there was a couple of times then where we even like stopped on a replay and my number like 12 was just stood waiting until all my 3 forwards came in and then all 4 of them joined together. So I still think people just stand there and wait for you. I don't really agree with that one. Adjusted waiting of player joining by position, which I think it means, you know, backs can now get back involved, which is nice that backs can still get involved, but it just still feels weird that if a back is stood waiting right next to the ruck, why would they not be the first guy in? It feels to me like you've got now 5 positions in the ruck and the front 3 slots are allocated. They must be a forward. And then the back 2 can be backs or forwards. It's like whoever sort of gets there. But because the backs get there quicker, you're still waiting for the forwards to trundle in, fill those 3 slots, then you sort of get in, as opposed to just being the 5 nearest guys with some priority given to the forwards to try and want to be there before the backs get in. Resolve the automatic try score. I've never even seen the thing they've mentioned in the patch notes there, so very hard to make a comment on that. Still got maybe a bit of an issue with the range you can score tries off. Like we had that first Argentina try was off the back of the scrum. 1 pass to that guy, ran 2 feet, and then just slid across the ground, you know, as if he's on ice and got over. I can't, as the player, defend that at all. It's 1 pass and he just starts sliding. I can't make a tackle. It's not like I could like dive on the ground and try and prevent him sliding over the try line. I couldn't sort of jump on the player to stop him. He just sort of slid over. Nothing you can really do about it. And there are other examples of that, like I said, like mauls and scrum halves picking it up on the 5-meter line. They still sort of cheat their way over a little bit. Improve the cutscenes. The cutscenes actually, yeah. The cutscenes have been improved. They've, you know, you can now... I don't know what they meant about the incorrectly positioned before cutscenes. I don't know what that means. Nothing's really stood out to me where it's completely the wrong player in a cutscene for some reason. But added the ability to skip pre-line out cutscenes. Really good. Really happy they've done that because that can get very tedious, especially if you're playing multiple games in a row and the amount of line outs that there is. And then added additional cutscenes for substitutions. I guess we only saw one. They have said they're cut scenes, so actually there might be more. The one I happened to see on my subs coming in, the AI still not using subs at all, was like, you know, a few guys lined up on the sideline and then 1 guy ran on. Even though I made like 5 subs in one go, I would maybe like it to be like, who are the players you brought on? And it would be all of the boys running on at the same time, maybe giving a high five to the people they're coming on for. You know, maybe have a bit more depth there, just supposed to watch someone running on, but at least there is a cutscene now, so you can sort of display that a substitute has gone, which is better. And then improved stability. We had that issue where the game just stopped. It didn't crash. It managed to not crash. I don't think it's very rare for a game to just pause for a few seconds before it finally came back. But yeah, stability is stability. Overall, a more positive update, I would probably say. It's still not, you know, boom, this game is away now. It's tweaks. It's a few additional things, which is nice. But it's not something that's blowing me out the water. It still doesn't, you know, make this game. You know, and we played as Namibia in that game to really sort of give the game a big chance. You know, had that been, you know, New Zealand versus Argentina, I still don't think Argentina would have even got close. There still seems to be a thing. Oh, in fact, I didn't look at the stats at the end to see my missed tackles. I still think there are issues with the layout between being a lower rated team and a higher rated team, and just how around the park things are really unfairly weighted against you, and you feel like they could not be, you know, like the line out steals. They don't have to take every line out just because they're the higher rated team. They should still have to call the line out correctly and have a much higher likelihood of stealing it off you. They should still have to get it correct. It shouldn't just be that they can steal a line out off you. Scrums, if you're the lower rated team in this game, you just can't win a scrum. You actually can't take it off them. It doesn't really work like that. I think it's like, sort of like, I don't know, 8 to 10 sort of lower rated. Once you go past that threshold, you can't win a scrum off the AI. It doesn't work on hardest. They just win every single scrum. So you have no chance. You might as well not compete. In fact, I have done scrums where I've not competed, and you can just put the controller down. You can't collapse the scrum if you don't press any buttons. Very weird. But you can also do that. But also, like you saw just around the park, like the rucks. I've got rucks where I've got 5 boys in. They've got 2. They're getting turnovers on me. They're holding on to the ball, even though I've got 5 guys in. You know, they've made this adjustment now to the 5-man rucks, which I really dislike anyway, but if they've done that adjustment, you think there needs to be a bigger balancing around what does it mean to have 5 players in versus 2. Just because you're the lower rated team shouldn't mean you're just sort of screwed at being able to get ruck turnovers, or if they're going to turn over one on you. And then I swapped to Argentina, and the first tackle, they just picked up the ball. They didn't even commit anyone. Just one guy got in and picked up the ball and ran. I was like, it just seems so weird to me that for some reason the AI can do stuff versus you. I still don't think there's enough logic around the rucks, but I have seen on the FAQ page a couple of them said, like, just move on from rucks at this point. You know, you've got to address some of the bigger areas of this game, which I think have also got a few concerns. A more positive update, but yeah, still not a lot of things fixed and setting us on a trajectory to be like, man, best rugby game ever. It still feels a bit more like, you know, tweaks and additions and stuff. So that's sort of my feedback from me. Let me know down in the comment section, guys, your thoughts. Have you played, or if you've just been watching my my videos? And I've seen a couple of people say I haven't even got it installed anymore. I just watch your videos and I'll wait for it to get to a stage where I fancy reinstalling it again. Do let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. I'll see you all next time, guys. Bye bye.